What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good? What's up, people? What's up? It's me, I'm El Teddy. Y'all know who I am. It's probably like down there somewhere. I'm El Teddy 27. We're back for another review. This is going to be our review for Greenleaf, Season 5, Episode 4, the fourth day. I apologize, y'all. I know I'm late with this review. Busy week, busy at work, busy outside of work. It's just been a busy week. Y'all see they don't have me doing interviews every day this week after I get off work. It's just a whole mess, but we're going to get through it. I apologize, but we're here now. We're here. So I'll give you what you want. Got to give people what they want. So we're here. All right, so let's get right down to it. So we start off at the hospital. We're at the hospital, and the doctor, Grace, and Noah are discussing what's going to happen with AJ after he leaves the hospital. So we have two options. He can either go home, or he can check into an inpatient treatment facility to kind of get help with some of his mental issues that he has with regard to the suicide, coping with his HIV status, and, you know, being raped, everything that goes along with what he has going on. Noah comes in and Noah said, listen, not Noah, Jesus. AJ comes in and says, listen, I'm going home and I'm going home with Noah. I ain't going home with you, Grace. We'll talk about why in a little bit, but he says, Grace, I ain't going home with you. Grace is devastated. Listen, let me help you understand something. Completely devastated. Now, y'all already know Grace got a lot going on, and Grace got a lot of things she's trying to work through and figure out. The last thing she needs to be worried about is this. But something like this could consume her and get her eyes off the prize and get her away from everything she already needs to get done. Well, we'll parcel that out a little later. Down to the Greenleaf Estates, we see May, Bishop, and Jacob talking. Now, let me say this. The entire episode, for me, it felt like it was almost like an emasculation of Jacob, if you want to call it. Or it seems like Jacob was kind of transported from being an adult to being an 8-year-old little boy. Because I felt like we saw 8-year-old Jacob talking to his mom and dad being scolded after he had done something stupid. So I just couldn't help but get that feel because Bishop is going in. And Bishop is usually not the one, excuse me, y'all, that goes in like this. It's usually May. But Bishop is going in. May comes up after the Bishop and starts going in on Jacob. And they were like, you're just stupid. You just do stupid stuff. And they go in. So they got to try to find a way to figure this out because they don't got time to be worried about houses and wheels and stuff like that while they're trying to start a new church. So Bishop is like, I'm going to have to go talk to Tara and try and work that out. I worked out her brother not shooting me in the head with a gun in the church. I can work this out too. May was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, I got this. May said, all right. So Bishop know that's what he need to do. May says, I'll tackle the Carissa angle. You tackle Tara, Bishop. I'll tackle Carissa. So Jacob is just sitting there like a little 8-year-old boy. It's just a mess. Down the arm. They also, when Jacob leaves, because they send him away. Now, I'm going to say this too, Jacob, and this goes for all of the Greenleaf children. You're always going to be in this type of situation with your parents if you're living in their household as grown adults. Grown people stay with themselves. Grown people have their own shit, okay? You're always going to be a little child if you're still staying in your parents' home. I'm just saying, grown people take care of themselves. It's a whole nother ball game. Anyway, May, after they dismiss Jacob, May and Bishop talking about the fact that coming Sunday, that's going to be the last day of the edifice that was Calvary being up. Harmony, I hope, is going to tear down after Sunday. So, and May was like, are we going to the service? The Bishop was like, no, God, I'm never stepping foot back in there. So May was like, well, at least we can have something here at the house where, you know, we know that, you know, we can, you know, still have church or we can have Bible study or something, and we'll invite some people over. And, you know, it could kind of like be a precursor to the church that they're going to be starting. Down to Harmony and Hope, Charity, Judy, and Phil are discussing Sunday's program, and they're discussing, you know, a part of the service that Judy says they should probably go over the plans for the new edifice and what they're going to do with this new church and so forth, and, you know, go over maybe the blueprints and, you know, all of the stuff the congregation has to look forward to. Charity says, well, you know, since this is the last day of Calvary, why don't we give the, you know, congregates this moment and let them, I've made this PowerPoint where we can go over the history of Harmony and not Harmony, Calvary, and they can kind of see and just relive and take it all in and have this moment where they can put Calvary to rest, in style, and have nice music playing and so forth, and have this moment. Judy looked and said, "Girl, no ma'am, we don't have no parts of that, honey." And Charity is in her feelings and is upset about it. Baby, while this is all going on, unbeknownst to them, over in the shadows is Grace. Grace is over there waiting to talk to Charity. When Judy and Phil leave, Grace comes in there and talks to Charity. She was like, "Listen, I got some information that can help you against these good hordes over here. Are you in or not?" She says, "Well," Grace was like, "Listen, you see what you got going on? You need all the help you can get." And so she finally acquiesces, or I should say, probably say coalesces, because Grace and Charity, they have a tenuous relationship at best. They don't see it for each other like that. And so she was like, "I guess." So she coalesced, and she said, we'll talk, we'll work together. So they go over to Charity's office, and we find out that Grace has bits and pieces of information about Phil, but not the whole story, or not enough of what she needs to do more investigative reporting. So she starts telling Charity some of the information she has. So Charity helps her connect dots and put names and stories about Phil from what she knew from when her and Phil were still together. We find out Phil's dad was a Black Panther, changed his name to something Muslim, stays in Louisiana. And we know Phil's mom is dead or whatnot. So Charity gives her not all of the information she needs, but enough information to connect dots so she can do more work about this Eatonville lending or whatnot with Bob Whitmore. Back down to the Greenleaf Estates, May goes in there and talks to Carissa. May goes in there and says, "Hey, whore. Hey, bitch. Get the fuck out my house. Get your nasty ass out my house, okay? Get your stinking ass the fuck out my goddamn house." Carissa looks at her. "Oh, so you talked to Jacob?" She was like, "Yes." She was like, "Well, let me give you the lowdown on your good son, okay? Who's been spilling seed all over these estates. These estates might as well be his abortion clinic, much less a doggone house, because he been spilling seed all over this estate." She went down this grocery list of women that Jacob had been with, one of which was one of their former, I guess, maids or whatever, before they had Marisol. And May ain't know nothing about it. And May was like, "He fucked up." Carissa was like, "He sure did." And I forget his stinking ass then too. And so May was taken aback. Part of the reason we know May was taken aback was May was a trifling, cheating woman too, and her husband took her back. So she kind of, at this point, her heart goes out to Carissa, because she was like, "Okay, I know what you're going through, Carissa. I feel your pain now." And so Carissa was like, "Yeah, he fucked her on the washing machine. Dirty bitch. Yeah, that's your dirty son." And so May is like, May ends up getting Carissa to tell her that she really doesn't even want a divorce. She really wants Jacob to forgive her and wants them to be a happy family, but Jacob won't, and Jacob can't get off the fact that she cheated this one time and gave her the clap, and gave him the clap, or possibly gave him the clap. And he won't let it go. And she was like, if you could talk him off the ledge and get him to come back and forgive me and we be a happy family, I'll let this whole will thing go, because I don't really care about the will. I don't care about none of that junk. I just want my husband back and my family back. So May says, "All right, I'm going to go talk to Jacob." She goes downstairs. Aaron is there talking to the bishop and Jacob. Aaron is telling them all of the legalities of the will and so forth. Yeah, it's legally yours, but if y'all go to court, he tells them, this ain't going to be about winning the case in the court. This is going to, in the courtroom, this is going to be about winning the case in the court of public opinion. It's going to be a whole shit show. They're going to lay y'all out and make y'all look like the worst people on earth. And so y'all should probably do everything y'all can to try not to go to court, because this is not going to be good for y'all trying to, have a church and everything. Y'all just going to look real bad. So, they say, okay. Aaron leaves. Bishop says, "I need to go see the Tara girl." So Bishop leaves to go see Tara. May tells Jacob, "Come here, boy. Come here. You come talk to me in the room." Another moment. Like I said, we see this moment where Jacob is just transported back in time at 8 years old. Just a mess. Just a whole mess. May and Jacob, I'm sorry. Grace calls Phil's dad. Grace calls Phil's dad. Phil's dad wants no parts of her. Phil's dad tells her, "You got 3 strikes. and then I'm hanging up this phone. I think she mentioned the fact that his name used to be such as that he was a Black Panther back in the day, and his name used to be such and such. He was like, I want to talk about that, strike one. She brings up his ex-wife Phil's mother. I want to talk about her, strike two. She brings up Phil. I don't want to talk about him either, strike three, and hangs up the phone. He wants nothing to do with Phil's mom, or whatever they got going on. Okay. Child, a mess. Anyway, May talks to Jacob, and she goes in. She goes all, and like I said, we got this mother talking to her little boy moment. She goes, it was so embarrassing for Jacob. I mean, she starts out quoting these Bible verses about, let he who is without sin cast the first stone, and all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, and all of this stuff. And he's, quoting where the scripture found for her and so forth. And he messes up, and she was like, I knew you didn't know them all, and this, that, and the third. Basically, she tells him, you need to go up there and forgive your wife. And she was like, well, what if I had cheated like her? He was like, well, Mom, you didn't. And so I think she wants to see how Jacob handles this with Carissa, because maybe it will give her an opening with which she could be truthful and honest with him and the rest of the family about Grace's paternity. But but Jacob, at the end he was like, yes, ma'am. And he, like I said, he looks like this little boy talking to his mom at 8 years old. A mess. So she tells him he better go in there. He better forgive his wife and move on. Charity is down there at Harmony and Hope. She sees Connie walking by. She says, Connie, can I talk to you? Mm-hmm. She was like, well, we were talking about, Connie was like, well, I'm on my way to Judy and Phil's office right now. So Charity tells her about, her plan to show this PowerPoint and things about the history of Calvary. And Connie tells her, I think it's the dumbest idea in the world. No, we don't need to do that. I agree with Judy and Phil. We don't need to do that at all. And so Charity is like, really, bitch? But I don't know why you want us to feel bad for you, Charity. There's nobody there that is aligned with you. Everybody that could help you, you threw them to the wolves. You embarrassed the family. You laid the family out, and you expect somebody. You're the only one left. They used you for what you were worth, which was your vote. And now you have nobody, no allies, no nobody. Everybody that left you. Don't look for nobody to feel bad for you. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Bishop goes and talks to Tara, okay? And basically, him and Tara talk, and he tells Sarah, I'm not the one who called your dad that night and told him to come to the church. He says it probably was Mac. Mac used to do a whole lot of stuff back in the day, and a lot of nefarious stuff, and he was working behind the scenes, messing everything up, and, just being a real, miscreant. I guess that's a good word to use. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm glad we can sit down and talk and work everything out. So she gives the appearance that, she's amiable. She can, they can talk it out and they can work through all of these things. And he even says, well, let me know what can I do? How can we squash this? How do we get to a point where we're okay and we can squash this? Okay. And so they continue to talk. Grace and Noah bring AJ to the Greenleaf Estates to get his stuff and to pack his stuff and go stay with Noah. Grace gives Noah, while AJ is on his way upstairs, Grace gives Noah this card with the information of a doctor that specializes in infectious diseases and HIV and stuff like that. And AJ overhears this. And AJ is like, see, this is why I'm not going to stay with you. Because I told you I didn't want to talk about this. I told you when I mentioned it, we didn't need to mention my status and all this stuff no more. And so, once again, Grace is back devastated. Grace is she's just devastated. And so he goes upstairs and starts packing. May comes in always at the most inopportune time for Grace. Always. Hey, Noah, what's good, boo? Come on over here. Let's have a good sit down with some tea. And Noah says, all right, May. They going there to have tea. Back down to Harmony and Hope. Judy comes into Charity's office, bitch, and says, hey, bitch, you went to Connie behind our back. And she went in and let her have it. I forgot to mention the part where she went in on Charity and talked about, oh, you really want to go over the history of this church? You want to talk about how your dad was accused of killing somebody in the church? You want to talk about, and she went down the whole grocery list of all of the scandals that happened at Calvary. And she was like, oh, so you really want to go through that? Nah, but we ain't doing that. As a matter of fact, what we not gonna have is you over here going behind our back every time we have a disagreement or you don't agree with something we say and trying to get somebody to decide with you so that you can get them to try and change our minds. But we're not doing that. You're fired. You can't fire me, baby. My dad is Bob Whitmore. I'm about to be first lady. The only person higher than me in this fucker is God. You ain't God, feeling God, so you're fired. Thank you for coming. Please drive safely. Baby. She walks out. Does her hair like that, honey? Flips the hair and walks out. Charity marches over in the Fields office. Fields looks at Charity. I know why you're here. Listen, I agree with Judy. I could probably get her to come up off this firing thing. But I agree with Judy. You were wrong. You shouldn't have did such and such. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about coming off nothing because I quit. I don't want to be here no more anyway. And as a matter of fact, let me know how you feel about sucking on them little mosquito bites she got over there because she ain't got all this. And see how much you like that over there, okay? I'm gone because you won't have none of this hot box no more. Charity, don't nobody see it for you like that, honey. You done been spreading that hot box all over the Fruited Plains. You let everybody get some of that junk. Don't try to act like, he can't come and get it whenever he want, honey. Child Charity, she be really trying it. I guess you just want us to forget all of your antics the last 5 seasons, right? Girl, Charity, if you don't sit down somewhere, she storms out, honey. Anyway, just a mess. Just a mess. Anyway, she does give him this warning. She says, I don't figure y'all the last past Tuesday. I don't know what Tuesday is, but that made Phil look some way when she said, you know what, all this that y'all doing, y'all church ain't gonna last past Tuesday. Because it was real interesting that she gave a specific day when she said that they would meet their demise. Anyway, Bishop comes home in a good mood. He rolls up in the car. Grace is walking the States because I told y'all she was devastated. So she's walking in her feelings. He talks to her. She tells him all about how AJ is packing and he's not going to be staying with them and so forth. And she's all in her feelings. And the bishop talks to her, gives her solace and comfort, and gives her wise counsel and says, listen, you done did what you can do at this point. You've saved his life. And that might be all that God needed you to do right now. You need to wait it out and let him do the rest. He was like, the same thing happened with you. We thought you was never coming back. And after 20 whole years, even when we thought you wasn't coming back, here you popped up. So wait it out. If we can wait 20 years for you to come back, you can wait this time for God to send Noah back to you. You'll be fine. So then Jacob goes in to talk to Carissa after May had told him off and told him to go there. So Carissa says, you talk to your mom? He was like, mm-hmm. And so Carissa is kind of like a little bit happy. She was like, oh. And so she was like, you have anything to say? He just stares at her. And she stares back. She was like, bitch? Oh, bitch. Oh, so that's what it said. Oh, so you can't even bring yourself to forgive me? Oh, okay. I see what this is. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I know if Carissa's anything like me, when a bitch tell you don't worry about it, that means don't worry about it. I got this. We ain't gonna have it to do with each other no more. Let me handle it. I don't need you to do nothing for me. I need you to do a goddamn thing for me. And that's what Carissa was. Don't worry about your apologies. I got it. Matter of fact, I don't even care about this stuff with the will no more. I don't even have it to do with that no more. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take my children. We can work all that out on the back end. But what I'm not gonna do is sit up here and embarrass myself dealing with you. And at that moment, I was with Carissa. As much as I can't stand Carissa, I was with Carissa. Because Carissa, like she said, I done forgave you over and over and over and over and over again. And now you got this whole double standard where I have one moment of infidelity. And now there's this double standard. I don't have it to do. That's fine. I'm out. Fuck you and fuck your life. I was with Carissa right there. Because as much as people are talking about it, and I watch all kinds of reviews, as much as people hate it for Carissa, Jacob has done exponentially worse and embarrassed her. So she was like, I'm done. Grace and AJ talk. This was probably the best moment in the last 2 seasons for me. This interaction between Grace and AJ. We start off, AJ's in there playing with Sophia, and they having a nice moment before he leaves, and they're like trying to act it like they were trying to convince him to stay. And they play, and so they leave. Grace comes in, and Grace sits down with AJ. And she says, listen, you know you can always come back. You do not have to stay out. You can always come back. He was like, I know. She says, are you going to go to the doctor? He says, yes, I'm going to go to the doctor that you gave Noah. And, they just have this mother-son bonding moment. It was so sweet. And I'm going to be honest. I have a soft spot for AJ. I don't know why. Ever since we met AJ, sometimes I've had to go in on him, but I've always had a soft spot for AJ. And I love this moment where there was just this mother-son moment, and they hug, and he gets up and he comes back over, he kisses her on her head, and they hug it out, and you see this moment, and it was so nice that we needed this because there's a lot going on with the Greenleafs. It's a lot going on all around them. It's like this hurricane going on around them, and we had gotten to this point where we're in the eye of the hurricane, and while all of this stuff is going around, you have this calm, this peace between AJ and Grace, and I loved it, and it was so needed at this moment because we know Grace has a lot of other things that she has to do. She got a lot of fires going on around her that she needs to put out. The Greenleafs have a lot going on. AJ needs to focus on making sure he stays healthy and dealing with his mental issues. So I'm glad this is one thing that we can hopefully at least momentarily put to the side and say at least we had this good moment. Loved this scene. Phil, we then see Phil and Judy at home. Baby, Phil goes and tells Judy about, the warning that Charity gave. And Judy was like, "Child, don't worry about her. It's good we fired her. She ain't gonna hurt us. We gonna be all right. We gonna keep it moving. She gonna keep it moving. And everything's gonna be okay." She goes in to try and unzip his pants and fillet him, suck on his meat, smoke his skin cigar, and he pushes her away. Not once, not twice, about 4 or 5 times. Listen, let me tell you something. I was with Judy a little bit right there. Baby, you could be my fiance, and I'm over here trying to pull out your meat stick, and you over here keep pushing me away. You don't believe that shit. You ain't gonna have no hot piece of dick over there and have me not be able to get to my dick, and you my fiance. We're not playing them games. We are not playing them games, honey. Child, but he pushes her away, and they keep it pushing. At the Greenleaf Estates, the bishop and May, they talk about his meeting with Tara and the fact that, it went great. We prayed. She prayed the Spirit of God down, and everything's great. I think we're really over this whole house situation and so forth, and everything is okay and so forth. May reminds him, do you remember what family she's in? We don't know that we can trust these people. You might feel good about it, but I don't know. Jacob comes in and tells May and the bishop he couldn't go up there and go through with forgiving Carissa. That was a whole mess. May, of course, is upset, honey. I don't blame her. Charity comes home, and all of them, one by one, start congregating and meeting in the dining room. Charity comes home, and Charity tells them about how she quit Harmony and Hope and how Phil begged her to stay. Just a lying, and so forth. And how she's going to join a church and was like, yeah, Corinne can stay minister of music because I need somebody to sing background for me and everything. She's just a whole mess. Charity then sits down to the table too. So now we got Jacob, we got Charity, we got Bishop, and we got May. Grace comes and sits down to the table, and then she talks about the moment that she just had with AJ. Then the rest of the family comes: Carissa, Sophia, Zora. So now everybody's sitting down at the table. The whole family sitting down at the dinner table. The bishop talks about the fact that tomorrow is Sunday. We're going to have church here. It's going to be a glorious occasion. Everything's on the up and up. Things seem to be working out. We find out Carissa ain't going to pursue the whole will thing. So everything seems to be worked out. Not so fast. While he's over there talking, he gets a phone call. Who is it? Tara. Tara calls him and says, baby, all bets are off. I need to talk to you immediately about this good house. Y'all think that belongs to y'all? We need to talk about it. So May is like, what did she say? What did she say? So when the bishop tells May and the family what she said, May was like, I knew that was trifling. I knew she wasn't shit. I told you what family this was. And you ain't want to hear. You ain't want to hear it. And so now look what we got. So it goes off from there. So y'all know this is this is Greenleaf, honey. And I'm sure we're going to see what's going to happen in glorious fashion. But y'all know it wasn't going to go that easy. Y'all knew it wasn't going to happen that easy. I can't wait to see how this plays out because I know Rochelle is either gonna come back or Basically Skanks is really not dead and he's gonna come back. Y'all know they're not gonna let it end this easy. It's gonna be a fight to the death. And I can't wait for it. Until next week, y'all, hopefully I won't be this late on my review next week. I'm sorry, I apologize, but we're back. So, until next week, we'll be back. Same time, same place. That's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely.